Hello, surprise. This video is actually just gonna be me talking. I made 2 videos on this app so far about my father, about how he's my artistic inspiration, my muse, the whole reason that I want to do art and do comics. And they got views. People watched them. So I was thinking today we'd pay him a little visit and look at some art together. There he is in his natural habitat. Hey, Dad. So, tell me, Mr. Taylor, about your history with art. What are your favorite things to draw?
Robots, monsters, and babes. And then I realized I don't want to go around drawing babes all the time. It's a little too fanboy for someone my age. Having kids changes you too. We started putting sweaters on all the mermaids because you and Sadie liked mermaids, but then we decided we need to put, they were modest, so we need to put sweaters on them, and now all my mermaids have sweaters on.
Oh, that's cute.
But now I really enjoy drawing, like, yeah, furries, like, if I, and caricaturish. Mine are particularly pudgy and short and stunted with big round eyeballs.
They're cute. Earlier you mentioned that you grew up heavily influenced by comic books. So which ones were the ones that influenced your style the most?
My grandma, one year for Christmas, she got me a subscription to Star Wars.
Ooh.
The Star Wars comics. And it was such a hit. It was so cool to have every month a gift from Grandma. A subscription was really cool.
Yeah.
And she, like, that was the most thoughtful gift. And it was formative to me. And it was so good that first year that she renewed it every year. I get a kick out of Superman. See, Chris, my brother, while I was getting Star Wars, he was getting Superman comics.
Cool beans.
So we had our roots there.
Why did you decide to go into illustration?
I wanted to be like my big brother, who was the best drawer in the world. He still is.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, he's an engineer.
Wait, really?
But Chris would say that he thought his comics were unimaginative and that mine were more imaginative, which is I couldn't even wrap my head around it because I was trying to be him when I made my comics. And we didn't have cable growing up, which, by the way, was a large part of why I draw. Yeah. Because you had to find a way, you're living, it's not like I was living in a big city. I always, when people say, "Where are you from?" I say, home of the Tuesday cattle auction. We had our wholesome recreational family activities. Nice. But, we were largely left to ourselves to keep ourselves entertained, and that was a big part of it, is that my dad worked at Thykol, which at the time was supplying munitions for the government. But he would bring home blueprints of these missiles.
Really?
Yeah, and so...
Dang, no wonder Chris is...
Oh, yeah.
An engineer.
Oh, yeah. Jesse's an industrial designer. Chris is a civil engineer. Dad is a chemical engineer. And what am I?
You're an artist.
So
you're an artist.
He'd bring home these blueprints, and on the back side of them was blank paper. And we would just cover, airplanes. This one's airplanes. Draw every airplane you can think of. And I'd get people to work on it with me. Dad, will you draw some airplanes with me? Chris, will you draw some airplanes? And friends came over. You got to draw an airplane, And or we had when this is gonna be a city. Oh, cool. Draw a building, and we'd all just draw on these. My dad did a really great job. He asked an artist, "What should I do if my kid likes to draw?" Oh, cool. The artist said, "Feed him paper and art supplies." And my dad did a really good job of that.
Since we're on the topic of childhood, tell me about reading and about how difficult it was to teach me to learn how to read.
I was a stay-at-home dad, coping with feeling ostracized and kicked out of my career, and I sort of sacrificed that. you know, a failed artist turned stay-at-home dad, left to raise a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and finding out that the 3-year-old doesn't like to read, and knowing what if that were to continue, what a debilitation that would be. So I took you to the library about 2-3 times a week in a double wide stroller with your sister, and we would make an adventure of it. And it was I packed it with snacks, 2 kids, and whatever coats you needed. And then we would come back, and the bottom of that stroller was like a canvas wheelbarrow, and we would load it with books.
Before that, I just didn't want to read anything until you started writing them for me.
Oh, we did that too. That's true. I forgot. I started writing books. That's true. I started making little desktop publishing. I made little books. That's right. And that's when I started making cartoons of you and Sadie. Remember, there was a book, I don't know if I have the original. I think so. I recreated a version. It was called The Long Book.
I love the long book.
And the purpose of the long book was to get you to read more than just, because your attention span would be like 4 pages in and then you're done.
Yeah.
And so I made every page in the long book a cliffhanger. And they were little sentences and they were like jabs. They were like to incentivize you to.
They were like, you'll never finish
Yes.
this book. It's too long for you.
The whole book was pitting itself against your attention span, saying, this book is really long and I know you're never going to make it to the end. Like, that's page 1, right? In terms of helping you to enjoy literacy, I realized that my books that I made about you were not going to be as enticing as books that you had made. And so we would let you, I would let you make up a story, and you dictate it and I'd type it.
Tell me about the lunch sacks, because we filmed a couple for your TikTok account.
I worry about your kids in the cafeteria, right? Because that's the one place in school where there's not assigned seating. And so if you're not socially cuey, you're going to be alone in lunchtime. And I can't make them a gourmet meal that makes them the hit of the cafeteria. Instead, I said, well, I can make their lunch sacks exciting. I really enjoyed drawing cartoons of you and drawing with you and watching you draw the things that you drew. And so now there was a lot of meaning that came out of that for me. Some of my using art was compensational for the other things that I knew I was failing at as a father.
Well, thank you, Dad. I really appreciate you taking some time and sitting with me and talking about comics and stuff.
Maggie, I just want you to know I'm so proud of you. You're I have generated volumes of doodles and some comics, but I've never yet really published any of them. They were done for family, and I think I've made like 3 or 4 videos out of the lunch sacks, put them on TikTok, but that was because you sat down and said, Dad, let's do this together. And as soon as you didn't do it with me, I stopped doing it. I think that what you're showing me is that there are other people that would enjoy the art and benefit by looking at it.
That too. A lot of people.
And that it is a good way to connect with my kids to this day. I could still connect with my kids if I was putting some of my art online. So I appreciate that. I'm still not out of the woods trying to figure out how to do it. But I am the dad who can lift 100 pounds.
Yeah, you can.
Let's see what we can do.
I love you, Dad. Thank you.
I love you, Maggie.
Sorry, I'm like, are you a fossil? Are you in
Yeah.
the grave?